Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, Shane Guilford, and we're back for round 5 of the V8 Championship for 2023. Thanks to SimHaus, MJ Build and Entertainment Park. Tonight we're at Hidden Valley up north in Darwin, and things are definitely hotting up. We've got 15 drivers on track at the moment in qualify, and we're keen to get started. So we have about 5 minutes to go in quali, and we'll get to that in a moment. Before that, we'll just go to our season standings as it sits after round 4. And after last week, Craig Broadbent stays at P1. Eric Chandra, after his round win, moves up into P2, just ahead of Vlad Tokarev, pushing him back into 3, I think. Ludwig Askinas moves up into 4. Scott Flack stays firm. James Delaney, missing the last round, drops to P6. David Baker moved up a spot as well into P7. James Spotto, Matthew Collins and Frederick Sarkis rounding out your top 10. All right, so a couple more minutes to go in quali at the moment, with Vlad Tokarev assuming his normal top spot with a 101.994. We haven't seen a 101 all weekend or all through practice before the broadcast, but here it is. There it goes. Vlad's been foxing us all, and he's absolutely smashed it at the moment. 3/100ths ahead of season leader and defending champion Craig Broadbent in the race cars Race Tech Steel entry. Flack up into P3. Just looking at his times, he's looks like he's on an outlap at the moment. He's on a 102.295, just ever so slightly behind Craig Broadbent, as you can see there on the live timings on the top left-hand side. Eric Chandra from Indonesia is got a P4 at the moment, just ahead of James Sarkis, who last round joined us for round 4, I should say. That was his rookie event, and he's back tonight. So showing a lot of promise there. We've got James Sarkis and his cousin Frederick Sarkis. They're both racing together in some high-end equipment at home. Season sponsor, MJ Build, Matt Collins in P6 at the moment. $100 going round to the top 3. First place will be $50, second place $30, and third place will take home $20 at the end of this one. Okay, we've got a new driver from Indonesia as well, or Singapore, I think, and it's Nur Shazalizem. So hopefully he puts the DJR car up to the pointy end of the field, as he's currently sitting in P7 with 2 minutes to go. Just pulls it up. Maybe he's got time for one more. Frederick Sarkis, cousin of James Sarkis, currently in 5. He's in 8 himself. Ahead of Ludwig Askinas. Oh, in a new Red Bull livery. Bit of a change, bit of a different take on the current livery, so that's nice to see. Matthew Pritchard in top 10 at the moment. David Baker really struggling to get to grips with the track conditions at the moment, and not happy with the car. Currently sitting in P11. John Slow in the garage, happy with P12 at the moment. James Spotto is coming late, so he's a bit behind on the practice, but I'm sure throughout the night we'll see him improve on his lap times, as he's currently in P13. Troy Kozlowski in the Ned Whiskey vehicle, the Ford Mustang. He's P14 with a 105.125. And James Walker in the Castrol Ford Mustang. Very tricky conditions here. The track's quite hot. You can see the track is rubbering up now. So the grip is coming to them, so the lap times will drop. But on pole A 101.994 from Vlad Tokar is pretty impressive. So let's see if Broadbent or Chandra's got any answer for him as Chandra moves up into P2 with a 102.1. Only just under 2/100ths behind Vlad Tokarev from Russia. Scott Flack still in P4. Alright, so it's a bit quiet out there on track. We'll see if Ludwig's still coming around to improve on his. Currently in P9. He crosses the line, P9. Unable to make any dent on his current quali, but it's not a problem. We've got 18 lap race coming up. 2 races. It's 20 minutes and 40 minutes long. So it's going to be 18 laps and 37 laps for race 2. It looks like everyone's finished theirs, unless Ludwig might still be on a hot lap at the moment. We'll see how he goes for his sector times. He's got a green sector, so this is looking pretty good for him at the moment. This is his last chance to get up further in the grid for the start of the race 1. Green sector so that's a PB for him, and that will generally see him move up 1 to 2 spots, hopefully. He nailed that last sector, which he did. He screams down the main straight. Wow, from P9 up into P5. Well done, right on the end there as he parks it just outside of the camera there. All right, so Askina's moving up into P5 from Lithuania. All right, so we'll see if the boys are ready to race for race 1, 18 laps. And we'll be back right after this. Okay, welcome back. The boys are gridding up now. Ready to go for race 1. It's going to be 18 laps, race 1. And we've got the boys all gridding up. Vlad Tokarev on pole. And the rest of the boys, as you can see in pits, waiting to grid up, setting up the car before they get on. They've got 1 whole minute to get on the grid. Now, this is going to be very interesting going into turn 1 because we can fit 5 to 6 cars wide down the main straight, but that turn 1 will only fit 1 to 2 cars maximum. And those blue barriers are not going to move for these boys. They're going to learn a hard lesson. So we hope all the boys take it easy down the main straight. Here we go. Good luck to the gents as they off and running. Vlad getting a good start. Craig Broadbent, he's only challenger at the moment. Eric Chandra charging down the main straight, trying to tuck in behind Vlad, but he's lost a spot. Looks like they all get through quite cleanly. Fred Sarkis there on the inside. Like our newbie Nur on the outside in the DJR car. Collins going up the inside of Ludwig. Askinas dropping back a place Looked like a penalty for one of the drivers. Can't see who that was. Not too sure if it was one of the circuses, but not a good start if it was for him, unfortunately. Flat out in front now, just putting 1.2 second gap on the field already. Craig Broadbent coming around the final straight, trying to tuck in there and not lose too much time there. It's all going to be about tyre attrition as well. Looks like a bit of a drag race down the inside. This is Scott Flack, and that's James Sarkis on the inside. Will Sarkis try and break late? Try and get on Scott Flack. He has broken late, but will he outrun it himself? Scott Flack going wide, and he's gone into the dirt. So that's Scott Flack off into the dirt, and there's a few guys off there as well. So we'll see who's dropped back. It looks like James Spotto. Scott Flack just coming under pressure with James Sarkis on the inside, but James has managed to hold that position, moving up into P4, and Matt Collins up into P5 for the MJ build Ford Mustang. Our rookie Nerb in P6 at the moment, doing a great job, nice and solid behind Matt Collins. As the field's starting to settle down now, Ludwig and David Baker, here he comes from P11, moving on back at Ludwig, who's dropped a couple of spots here. We saw him move, get P5 on the grid, but one lap down and he's dropped a couple of positions only, which isn't too bad. Baker making up a huge amount of positions there to be in P8. Craig just starting to pull away from Eric Chandra there, so the front four really just spacing out. It looks like David Baker's the only closest one challenging at the moment. Up the inside of Ludwig, just a little tap. That's okay. Ludwig's got the wider line out there. He holds position, but Baker's keen to get a good run on him down the main straight. We'll see if that takes it wide to turn in early and get on the gas early to get a higher top speed. And he's got to tuck in because here comes Frederick Sarkis right behind him. So this is a three-way battle down the main straight, lap 4 of 18. With David Baker now trying to defend his position. Skinner's just pulling away, but under brakes, David manages to close up once again. Going through the hairpin there, coming out, trying to not get on the gas too much and light those rears up. This right hand is really tricky because the track sort of tightens in on him. Really need to invest in turning in early to stay on the black stuff as he's trying to tuck in right behind Ludwig. Ludwig taking a tighter line onto the main straight, but Baker's carrying a lot more speed, tucking into the there along the pit wall. Ludwig just coming out a little bit more just to break that draft. Ahead we've got Matt Collins putting pressure on Sarkis now. That's James Sarkis. So this is a three-way battle. Newbie, Chazalazen. Oh, Sarkis just cooking it coming out of that corner. He's lost all the momentum, dropping 2 places. Hopefully he settles back in. Sarkis is trying to hold his position, not lose another one to Askinas, and Baker coming up the inside. That was a great move. Took the opportunity, he saw that Askinas was occupied by Sarkis out in front. We've got Frederick Sarkis joining in the back there. So this is a 4-way battle, and this for P6 at the moment. But up ahead, it's heating up as well because we've got Matt Collins Moving up into P4 now. Chandra out on his own. Oh, he's come off. Not too sure what happened there. We'll try and see what happened to Chandra. It looks like he's coming deep and yeah, too hot. He's just locked up. Unfortunately, the track turns a bit too much and out in the dirt. So we're back and he's settling back into, where's he, down into P9, just ahead of John Slow there. So that's Collins now up into P3 with Nur Shizalan settling into P4, but really putting pressure on Matt Collins here. Oof. Nurse's and just dropping a fair bit of time to Matt Collins. Will he pick it up in the braking? Yeah, he's quite strong on the braking. Collins really just nursing those tyres, trying not to burn the fronts. The front rights are really going to cop a lot of the load on this track. It's not really cambered, quite flat, and very challenging corners, making you want to gotta let the car work for you, not use the tyres to work for you, because they're just going to burn up and overheat, and you'll be no good towards the end of the race, as we may see positions changing as we get to the closing end of this race one. Craig Broadbent selling into 2 quite nicely. Vlad out 3.8 seconds now. Coming down the main straight, there's a gap. Almost half a length down the main straight, and this is close battle for 3. Baker up in a... No, that's... yeah, Baker up in a 5. With... which Sarkis is that? That's James Sarkis back in P6 and Frederick Sarkis in 8. Nerd just putting some pressure on Matt Collins coming into that corner, but he's holding firm. Yellow in sector 1, not too sure if anyone's gone off there. P13, looks like Scott Flack again. Oh no, that's onto the main straight. Like trying to make up a few more positions. Matthew Pritchard, unfortunately, is back in 15 at the moment. Not where he's usually sitting, but this track really challenging. Just bring up the initials so we can see which Sarkis we're talking about. We usually have 2 Pritchards here as well, but Braden not with us at the moment. 10 laps to go, 8 laps down already. I don't think we're going to see any pit stops, but the boys will definitely know where they need to pit for the next race. Oh, Sarkis just locking up there. He managed to pull it up in time. His cousin Frederick Sarkis just coming around the corner now. There's not too many on screens other than Matt Collins, and here we go. Look how tight this is. Down into first gear just to get around the hairpin. You can see how much pressure Nurse putting on him in the Shell Helix car. Under braking is where Nurse's strengths are. We can see him close up here as we get onto the main straight. Oh, down to second gear, almost first, but first will just lose too much momentum down the main straight. That's a drag race as they go. Oh, Matt Collins almost clipping that wall there. Had to come out to avoid it. He wants to go as close as he can to get a good draft and a good run there. Oh, Nurse coming up the inside. He's overshot it, but he's managed to pull it up. I don't know how he did that, because Collins ran wide, let him go through, hoping he'd go off into the dirt, but he managed to pull it up in time. But he's settled back into P4. Matt Collins got a lot of spatial awareness there just to let the Nur go through, knowing that he wasn't going to make it. And indeed just overshot it there, losing that position, settling back into 4. While Baker's comfortably in 5, out by himself now. No one behind him anymore. Sarkis has got Ludwig right on his tail there under heavy brakes. Sarkis monstering away on that corner there. You can see the two different strategies: brake early and then get a good run out, and then Sarkis went in hot and then come out not so hot there, but not doing it too bad a job. Eric Chandram up into P8 after coming off early onto the dirt out in turn 1. Positions out in front hasn't changed. Vlad just running away with it once again. Craig Broadbent doesn't have an answer for him on this race, but maybe in the second one we pitch strategy. But as it is, Craig Broadbent 6 seconds behind. A further 6 seconds behind them is Matt Collins and Nursh's Lazen. I'm going to get used to that surname. As Nurse just joined us tonight for the first time, so we'll watch it with eager eyes. Make sure you're cheering on. And if you're watching at home, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, making sure you get told next time we're on air live in Entertainment Park for our V8 League for 2023, hosted by SimHaus Entertainment Park and sponsored by MJ Build. Oh, Collins again going wide, and he's trying to come back on the inside now. Oh, did they clip? I'm not too sure. We'll have to go to replay for that one. No, went in hot. Matt Collins trying to come back in. He's gone wide. Oh, looks like Nerd tried to come across the front there, but unfortunately just got tagged. Not much you can do there. As unfortunately Chesleason moves up, falls back into P9. Probably get a couple more spots back before the end of the race. We've got 5 laps to go. Frederick Sarkis just in front of him trying to defend. That's Chandra up in front, putting pressure on James Sarkis. That pressure's been on all race. James Sarkis nice and solid there. Oh, just a bit of a bump under the braking. It's a bit of a tight apex, so you can either go long around or you can go nice and tight. Looks like Chesleason has moved up into P8, just ahead of Frederick Sarkis. Ludwig Skinas now up into P5, back to his starting position. David Baker from Entertainment Park doing a fantastic job. From P11 moving up into P4 at the moment. He'll be happy with this at the end of the race. Might cross back to him. As we watch him. Currently in P4. He's got Askinas putting pressure on him. I can see the lap times. It's pretty tight. Only half a second difference in that lap. So he's closing Askinas on the back of Baker. But is there enough time in the race with 4 laps to go? Can he get the job done? James Sarkis being overtaken by Eric Chandra, moving up another spot now. Chandra up into P6, charging back through the field. Frederick Sarkis and John Slow now coming to close down on, he's gone with a hard tyre, John Slow. So the yellow banded tyre is a harder compound. So too Frederick Sarkis. So a bit worried about the front right burning out before the end of the race, but hopefully they've got a lot more tread left to go. I can see David Baker's racing with us in here at Entertainment Park. I can see how much tyre tread he's got left. John Slow down the main straight now. looking for, that's Frederick Sarkis. Lighten up the fronts. As he goes in, he may go wide, and that's him. He's gone off. That's John Slow moving up another position, up into P9. Frederick Sarkis just falling back another couple of spots there. Spotto closing in too, so the gap there, it's put almost 2 seconds or a second and a half on John Slow. So with a couple of laps to go, maybe this is going to be another fight for another position there. As Broadbent, our championship leaders, lapping Troy Cieslawski. Blue flags being given. Matt Collins settling into P3 quite nicely. He's got an early job in the morning, so he can only make this race. Unfortunately, won't be around for race 2. David Baker, biggest climber of the day so far. This will bring up the tally up 7 spots. And Matt Collins moving up 4 spots as well. Still defending Esquinas, Ludwig Esquinas. So that position holding quite firm at the moment. 2 laps to go there. Vlad Tokarev, race leader, coming round for a second last time. Putting a massive gap on Craig Broadbent in the P2 there. You can see Craig in the background just coming across the start-finish line. And Matt Collins coming onto the main straight. And this is the next battle for P4, Baker and Esquinas. That'll be together till the end of the race. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. Eric Chandra out by himself. Not too sure if he's going to be close enough to make any more positions before the end. Nertius Lazen is in 7. James Sarkis recovering back up into P8 just ahead of John Slow. And where's Spotto? Yeah, Spotto's charging in behind, closing that gap now. So he just conceded a bit of time on that lap to John Slow. John Slow probably looked in the rear vision mirror and went, whoop, I better get going. And he just definitely put the gas down. Trying to watch Flack here. I'm not too sure if he's being lapped as he's in P15. Definitely putting in some hot laps. That last one was a 104 when the rest of the field's doing 105s and late 104s. So it's unfortunate he overshot that one corner. That's just upset his rhythm, so he's fallen down the back as Vlad takes us round for the last time for race 1 with a commanding lead ahead of us, Craig Broadbent, who's actually bringing that gap down, but it could be that Vlad's just backing off a little. A couple of corners to go for Vlad. It looks like he's still got a bit of grip there. As the monster's coming out, just sliding through the corners with ease. Not an easy job in these cars to keep the car settled and planted. He comes around the last couple of corners to take the main straight. Vlad Tokarev coming down the main straight now to take race 1. A full 6 seconds ahead of P2. He's happy with that one. Congratulations to Vlad. Craig Broadbent coming home for P2. Not too far behind, to be honest. Here it is. Matt Collins and Baker and Esquinas all together. Matt Collins. Oh, Matt Collins. Oh. They've come together. That's a mistake from both the drivers. That's unfortunate. Now it's all mixed up. Ludwig bringing it home. Chandra in 4, 5. Goes to Matt Collins, nursing it home for P6. James Sarkis and David Baker brings it home. He was coming in for a P2 or P3, I should say, but just got caught up there with James Spotto crossing the line ahead of Matthew Pritchard, Frederick Sarkis, John Slow coming around. Jamie Walker already in the pits, Troy Cieslawski already parked it, and Scott Flack will be come round to finish his position there. All right, so that concludes race 1. 18 laps. We've got one more to go. 37 laps. This is going to be very tight. We tie where the boys almost running out. We can see Matt Collins out of tyres. Couldn't do much with that. And unfortunately come together with David Baker on the last lap there, just coming out of the final corner onto the main straight. Okay, so we'll be back right after these messages.
Tahi, tell them about Entertainment Park.
Well, this place, it's like, it's...
My favourite place in the world!
The thing about this place is that...
It's fun for all ages, no matter what your age. You'll love it.
What I really want to say about Entertainment Park is,
They have the best go-karts plus a great cafe. Games, bowling, simulation, but the go-karts, oh my God, they are so much fun.
look, thing is that this place is...
Perfect for my birthday party. Everyone said it was the best birthday party ever. Yeah!
What I really want to say about this place is...
Just say it!
It's a fully hectic, oh my God, venue.
Finally! Entertainmentpark.com.au. And as Tahi says, it's hectic.
And oh my God.
The speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000. And now, it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the second year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia. There is nothing like the mountain, the speed, the history, and most importantly, the sound. It's part of the Bathurst 1000, and now it's part of your whiskey too. Aged to perfection with the sweet sounds of a roaring V8 pumping through each oak barrel. Like a perfect lap of the mountain, each sip will leave you wanting more. For the second year, Ned Australian Whiskey brings you the 2022 limited edition Sounds of Bathurst Whiskey. And this year, Ned have taken it up a gear. The boldest drink for the greatest race in Australia.
Okay, welcome back. Race 2. 37 laps this one. It's going to be a bit longer, a lot more challenging for the boys on this one. We may see a repeat on race 1. David Baker, unfortunately, got caught up in a last corner melee and lost a lot of position, lost all his hard work. From P11, he was looking into a P3, but unfortunately, Collins had no tyres left. And was full lock, and they've apologised. Matt Collins has apologised through the break there. Here we go, race 2. Looks like Frederick Sarkis has missed the start there. Harrison Tebbs joined us for race 2, and he's up the front already. David Baker looking him up the inside. He means business. He wants this win. There's a bit of a run down the outside. See if John Slows made it back on track. They've all stayed on the black stuff, which is great work. Vlad Tokarev from the back of the field. Oh, and he's got a jump start, so it looks like he's going to serve a penalty. This could open up the race for Broadbent. Just has to play it patient. Boys trying to get through. Oh, looks like Spotto just got clipped. That's going to create a lot of that. I'm sure that was Vlad Tokarev. Just see what happened there. Vlad coming out of the corner, just clipped the Red Bull. Red Bull goes right, then left. Like a bit of neck code there. That wasn't meant to happen, but unfortunately that's Vlad down the back with a penalty to serve as well. That's definitely opened up the results as we've got Harrison Tebb defending against David Baker on the inside. Baker pushing it second stage. He gets a better exit, so Baker taking that one. Ahead of Harrison Tebb, and that's James Sarkis up in a P3. Wojciechowski holding firm in P4. Great job from him. As it just locks up another right-hander there. Matthew Pritchard doing well. Broadbent, he's licking his lips. He knows he's got Tokarev at the back of the field with a penalty to serve, so he wants to get out to make the most of it, but he's got to look out for Chandra and our newcomer, Nursh's Lazen, is showed a lot of form in the first race, so let's see how he performs in the second one. Just ahead of Eric Chandra back there with John Slow in the second of the red racing cars. Walkie. Ludwig Eskinas profited from that early incident of Baker and Collins in race 1, took home P3. Again, if you're at home, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, make sure you get notified when this racing comes on TV. Once again, we broadcast live from Entertainment Park here in Bankstown, New South Wales. We see Chandra trying to get through the pack there, changing all sorts of lines. Broadbent under pressure. Oh, deep braking. Oh, he's locked up. He's boys did well to really hold on there. Broadbent came up the inside. Come down the main straight. Broadbent on the inside. Chandra, Jaslowski trying to stay out of the way of everyone else. That's probably going to cause some issues. He likes to put the brake on and let everyone through, but it's not good when you've got cars flying behind you. He wants to get out of the way, but he keeps moving around. Just needs to stay there, put the brake on, let everyone go up the inside. That's Matt Pritchard moving up to P6. Oh, and that's John Slow trying to get up, and again, Troy's trying to get out of the way. Oh, Nursh's Lazen's copped a penalty. Let's see what that's for here. Not coming up on my notifications here, so I can't tell you what that was for. As we continue on, David Baker up in the lead, 0.7 ahead of James Sarkis, who's got the jump on Harrison Tebb. Now these three motoring away. Craig Broadbent struggling for speed, or he's just looking after the tyres, making sure he gets to the end. Maybe he's got a different strategy. He could be going for the no stopper. He's got Chandra right behind. So if he was smart enough and on a particular strategy, then he may let Chandra go with an easy pass. But we'll see how that pans out. These guys are used to racing on track. So we can see them coming down the main straight now. Chandra trying to tuck in a Broadbent. Get the draft. He's got the gap. Will he get under braking? Is he going to overshoot it? Oh, he may tap Broadbent a little bit, but Broadbent too strong. He holds on, takes the outside, gets the momentum. He gets the line for the next two corners. Just Lazen still on track. Hasn't served that penalty. I don't think that Vlad has served his either, as he's down the back as well. Oh, it looks like he has. 25 seconds back, so it looks like he's served his penalty. Ready to race on. There's Baker back up the front. Vlad Tokarev posting the fastest lap of the race, 103.2. That's a hot time. That's a good second ahead of everyone else on track. He means business now. Baker's defending hard against James Sarkis for lap 6. Tebb doing all he can to tuck in behind Sarkis, take back P2. Not too sure if he's been doing some private practice. We haven't seen him on the server all week. And he's just popped in for race 2. You see the load of the car on the outside. James manages to get it round smoothly. Getting a bit late in the afternoon now, the low sun setting down at Darwin. The track should get a bit cooler, a bit lighter on the tyres for these guys. Car rotating quite nicely for Harrison Tebb. They're taking the curve to get the car to rotate even more, but they've got Craig Broadbent coming in behind. That's the gap. He's closing in. What's the gap now? 1.1, so keep an eye on that time, ladies and gentlemen, as the race goes on. It's a full-on sprint down the main straight. Baker got the advantage by almost a second ahead of Sarkis and Tebb. 30 laps remaining. And the boys are a lot closer together this one. A lot better racing. It's a game of chess. Who's going to be making the moves mid-race? Are they going to pit? I'd say Baker's going to be pitting halfway. He's using up a lot of tyres on staying out the front. So too James Sarkis as he defends hard against Tebb there, because the boys are coming in hard behind. Oh, little tap for Harrison. He's got the boys behind him as well. That's championship leaders Craig Broadbent and Eric Chandra. Right up the tailpipe of Harrison Tebb there. Craig just going wide to get an inside run. Tebb overshooting it. Now he's got on the accelerator a bit later than the rest of them. Broadbent squeezing in under the draft there. Will he pop out under braking? Here he comes. He's going to make the move. Oh, up the inside. Is he going to hold on or is he going to go straight ahead? Harrison's locked up. I don't know if that was a touch. That could be a touch from Chandra. We'll see if he gets a tap. Oh, just a little, but not too sure if that was affected. So we go back live now. Harrison Tebb falls back into, where is he? P11. Oh, that's costly for him. Looking quite strong at the start of the race there. Now Sarkis has got Broadbent right behind him. He wants to do the same within the next 2 laps to get away and get further away from Chandra. Chandra lost a couple of seconds off this group, so it's spreading out a little bit. They can settle in, run their own race now. James just going wide there. Craig's coming up the inside. Settles in right behind Chandra, just back in the fold there. Scotty Flack, we haven't seen him all race, but he's quite settled in P6, quite comfortable there. Oh, just locks up a little bit. Turkey just taking it easy, making sure the car gets in, stays on the black stuff. You can see the track rubbering up now with the shine. Brakes hard down into 2, get the car to turn and get on the gas early, get the car to rotate. Nice long run down the main straight, chasing Matt Pritchard in the 25 car in P5 at the moment. Nice long drag race down the main straight, and in real life there is actually a drag strip just beside the main straight there. That's why the straight is that long. I won't say it's a quarter mile, but it's quite long. Ludwig Askinas quite content in P7 it looks like, but maybe he's on a different strategy as well. John Slow trying to catch back up to the back in P8 at the moment. James Spotto from that earlier off track is trying to recover hard as he comes back into P9 ahead of Harrison Tebb. Looks like Nersh's Lation has served his penalty as well. as he's back in P11 ahead of Vlad Tokarev. This guy was 25 seconds off the back of the pack. Now he's within 3 seconds. And even overtaken Troy Kozlowski for P12. So he's got a lot of work to do. Baker's still out in front. Looks like we've lost his camera feed there. Or it's just Discord going to sleep. One of the two. There he goes. Look at the intent. Very focused when he's out in front. Quite a surprising result. If he managed to nail the first race, he'd be close to being ahead of the points table for tonight's round. He'll be cursing himself that he got involved in that earlier incident with Matt Collins towards the end of race 1. If you weren't here before, he was lining up for the final run down the main straight, and Collins just running out of tyres. They come together. He lost a certain P3 and fell back for a P7. So unfortunately he lost a lot of points there, but he's back up in the lead, charging. Lap 13 of 37. See the focus tilting the face in there, but the eyes stay on track. Smashing that sequential shifter on the SimWorks motion sims located here at Entertainment Park. If you ever want to go over a full motion sim with a 1-to-1 scale sequential shifter out of a V8, come down to Entertainment Park in Bankstown, say good day, and we'll get you straight on the sim. We have 8 full motion simulators here for your choosing. Even better still, why don't you join up and start racing with us as we race most Wednesday nights. Just scroll down to the description under the video to get all the details and get on board. We'd love to see you on track for the next race. Baker leading out Broadbent now, and Chandra right behind. 14 laps down. Baker's still got a bit left on his tyres as he's racing here at Entertainment Park. I can see his tyre indicator. He's still got a fair bit of tread left. Broadbent's very famous for looking after his tyres and having a lot at the end ready to go. Just under halfway, it's Baker, then Broadbent. Chandra in P3. James Sarkis in P4. Matthew Pritchard. Oh, Scotty Flack. Just watch how Scotty Flack gets the job done, but I've just missed it. Oh, Pritchard just going wide there. Looks like Ludwig Askina's moving up a position as well, moving up into P6. Pritchard just lost a couple of spots there. Trying to look for other races, but here it is, top 3. Lap 15 down the main straight. Craig Broadbent giving it all the beans, trying to catch David Baker. Baker very good, and Broadbent even better under brakes, but Baker's got the inside line. He's going to let the car come out and get on the gas. Great job from Baker and Broadbent. And look at the rear vision mirror of Broadbent as he's got Chandra right behind, ready to make any mistake, just trying to shove the nose on the inside, but he knows it's not a move. He's just intimidating Broadbent, try and make that mistake. So we saw Flack make that mistake in race 1. And James Sarkis come in under hot brakes. Flack ended up missing his spot and ran off into turn 1. Into the dirt there, taking quite a long time to get back on. It's lap 16, they're still together. James Sarkis, oh, just lighting up the rears, coming on the main straight there. Scotty Flack leading Askinas and Pritchard. Now for P5, 6 and 7. John Slow looks like he's had a non-eventful race at the moment. He's out there by himself pretty much most of the race, staying in P8. Lapping in the 105s at the moment. Pretty good time compared to the rest of the field. The front end of the field's in the mid 105s. John Slow, the low end of the 105s. A couple of guys in the middle with the high 104s. Flack and Ludwig Askinas. Baker relatively comfortable with Broadbent behind. Chan just trying to get onto the back of both of these guys. Oh, Broadbent broke hard to get in the pits. So that definitely answers what his strategy is. He definitely went out halfway and he's going for it. So he's going to come in. Trying to get Broadbent, but Broadbent, oh, that's him only stopping now. Down in P8 at the moment. We want to see where he comes out with Vlad Tokarev, because Vlad came into the pits for a penalty, but he's got the fastest lap of the race so far, 103.2, which he did coming out from that penalty earlier in the race. Looked like it was from the start line, so it looks like Nerschlation is retired as well. Maybe that penalty is too much for him, or he received another penalty trying to serve the penalty and just gave up. Chandra in the pits now, doesn't want to go too far away from Broadbent for tyres. So too James Sarkis. Baker out in front. He's probably going to give it one more lap, and then Baker should come back in because he knows Broadbent's out there smashing a fast lap now. Baker out by himself now, 10 seconds ahead of Ludwig Askinas in P2, but yet to pit. Teb back up into the picture in P3. So with Baker coming around, where's Broadbent? Broadbent coming out of turn 1 or turn 2. So Baker should really be coming into pit now for his tyres. Yes, he comes in nice and hot. What's he doing? 40k an hour. Pit lane speed limit is Cieslawski there. Hopefully the boys are getting on the tyres. You can see the elevation. So that's Baker coming out. Where's Broadbent? That'll be the marker. Oh, it's coming around for them to get on the main straight. Has a pit crew released David Baker yet? Yes, he has. So he's coasting through the lane. Very busy. It looks like Troy Cieslawski got a better pit stop there. Will Broadbent take the lead? Yes, he does. Not yet, because Matthew Pritchard's still out in front, yet to pit. The virtual leader would be Broadbent there in P3. Scotty Flack, 103 flat. Probably fresh out of a pit stop there. Looks like he's on a fresher set of tyres at the moment as he comes out of turn 2. See what tyres the guys are using. Looks like John Slow on the hards. Probably one of the only, and James Sarkis too on the hard. So Much more comfortable getting longer runs. We'll see if Matthew Pritchard's actually coming to the pits. It looks like we know Broadbent and Chandra have pitted, and I'm putting my money on Scott Flack pitting as well. So my guess is Pritchard's the only one that hasn't pitted in the front six. Because Askinas has fallen back to P7 as well. Teb is back in P10. So fastest lap for Chandra, 109.5. Chandra on a flyer, trying to get back up to the back of the group through the pit stops. He's fallen back into P4. Actually, that'll be a virtual P2 because John Slow hasn't pitted either. Wow, these lap times are coming down and getting very hot. Track rubbering up a lot over the weekend. Look at that time, a 102.1. That's almost a full second off previous fastest lap. Absolute monster lap from Tokarev as he's moved up into P8 at the moment. He's got a lot of work to do, but never say never, as we've got a yellow sector 2, or had one, but it's cleared now. That's John Slow coming in for his pit stop. And that's Craig Broadbent, the leaders. Eric Chandra just going through there. Oh, nice stop from John Slow's pit crew there. Scott Flack up into P4 at the moment. Wow, that's a fantastic job. Pritchard coming into pits, or he's spun out. Oh, where is he? I'm trying to see where he's at. See if I can see what happened to Pritchard. And that's him out of the race. We go back live. Broadbent out front. So the race between Broadbent and Chandra, the gap 1.1 seconds at the moment, with Scott Flack now up into P3. Baker's flying behind Scott Flack with a personal best there, 103.54. Will he beat that on this lap again? He rolls through with a 104 flat, so he is on a charge. And just falling a couple of 3/100ths off the back of Scott Flack on that lap alone. But he'll be there at the end, you watch. Also got Tokarev on the back of Slow at the moment. Trying to cross to them. The two Milwaukee red racing cars. That's John Slow at the back there. Tokarev already got the job done. Not too sure what's happening with the glitching there. Chandra doing all he can to reduce that gap. It's come down 1/100th, down to almost a neat 1 second gap there. Oh, Broadbent diving the front end in under heavy brakes, getting all the main braking done on the initial application of the brake pedal, and letting the brakes off as he gets closer to the corner, freeing up the steering. The field spreading out now. These two are the only ones out on track, really close enough. So we've still got Tokarev and John Slow in the two red Milwaukee cars. Tokarev's last lap, a 103 flat. The boys up front are doing mid 103, so he's gaining half a second a lap, but there's only 13 laps to go to the end of the race. Not enough. He needs more than that because the gap is almost 15, 16 seconds. So he needs at least a second a lap to gain on the three. He just needs to nullify the deficit, move up as fast as he can towards the front. But his next driver will be James Sarkis. Sarkis is 6 seconds ahead, so a lot of breathing room for Sarkis in P5, doing a fantastic job. His second round with us in the V8 series. Second gear coming around that corner, nice and even. We saw him lighten up the rears a bit, but it looks like he settled that down as the track's gripped up. See the stats there. He's 17 seconds behind the leader and 6 seconds behind the next place, which is David Baker in P4. All in all, he'll be happy with that, but he really wants to chase down Scott Flack, but the gap's moved out to almost 3 seconds now. You can see Scott Flack just ahead. If I look at the lap times, they're almost identical lap times at the moment, so Baker's got to find something to make a dent on that deficit with only 11 laps to go. Okay, so Chandra moving in on broadband now. Chandra really getting comfortable with these V8s. Chandra racing with us from Indonesia. And we've got, I'll go down the field, Tokarev racing from Russia. Askinas is Ludwig Askinas in P8s racing with us from Lithuania. And we've got Nershus Lazen, he's racing from Singapore. We usually got a couple of other internationals as well. We've got a Brazilian, Pedro Gomez, who's not with us tonight. It's like Matt Pritchard. Yeah, we saw Matt Pritchard pull out earlier. This is the race for the win, and if memory serves me, this will be for the round win as well, depending on where Tokarev finishes, as he's moved up into P6 now. We've got to chase down. He's taken 2 seconds out of Sarkis's times, but yeah, that's a long way to go to catch James Sarkis. Baker's got plenty of tread left now. But Scott Flack pulling that gap out to over 3 seconds now. 10 laps remaining. The fastest man on track at the moment is Vlad Tokarev. Last lap was a 103.6. The leader's doing 104.4s. And they're pretty much identical out the front. Chandra trying all the different lines. Just a bit wide on that one, but he's got on the gas early to make the car rotate and make up for it. Should have taken that turn a bit earlier. But he's still in distance, still in striking distance, only half a second, or that's gone out to 0.8 now. Probably from that one little mistake. But he's closing back in under brakes. We go in board. He knows he can close that gap. It's just there, right in front of him. I'm sure he's given it all he can, but Craig's just too consistent. Rarely making the mistake. Really improved over the last few years. Current defending champion in the V8 series. That's why he holds the #1 on the windows there. He's defending champion from last year. Very dominant. Untouched, but this year's being challenged by Eric Chandra and Vlad Tokarev from Russia. 2 internationals. See how close Eric gets there. A lot better on that one. You can see he gets on the power a lot earlier, so he's Still in touch with Craig. Trying to stay as close as he can. Down the main straight. You can see the gap's not that much. And under brakes. He's almost touching the back bumper now. Gap still remains 0.4 of a second. Very close, but Eric just doesn't have an answer. As we see Harrison Tebb back in pit lane. Probably burn out his tyres as he rejoins in P9, waiting for James Spotto. But he's too far back to make a dent. Gap up front. What do we got? 5 laps to go. Sun's starting to set here at Darwin, up in the Hidden Valley. Still there, Eric, still waiting for Broadbent to make a mistake, but as I said before, Broadbent's very good with Mr. Consistency, and that's what got him the championship last year. Rarely made any mistakes, rarely got involved in any of the on-track drama. He just collected the points and took the wins when he could. Scott Flack, great job this time. Not the best result in race 1, but definitely race 2, comfortable in P3. Now he's stretched that gap out. Excuse me, he's stretched the gap out to 6 seconds now ahead of Baker. Baker, I think, will be quite happy to just take P4 at the moment. Got an 8-second buffer to James Sarkis, who himself has done a great job. Tokarev's closed that gap down to P3, and Slow's closing in on Tokarev as well. So what's happening with Tokarev there? That's uncharacteristic from him. Four laps to go. He's now defending against, he's got the softs on, so not too sure if he burnt the softs up too early. And with 3 laps to go, now he's struggling a bit as John Slow is starting to close in on what looks like his teammate. See how wide Tokarev's going, but he's missed the blue and got a good run down the main straight. Missed the blue barriers on the inside. As I said, they look nice and soft, but try and hit him and it's definitely going to tell you a different story. John Slow comes around for lap 34. My apologies, the yellow are the hard compound. So the whites there are the softs. So Craig Broadbent, and I'm sure Chandra's on the softs as well. We'll look at the tyre indicators. Yes, the top 4 on softs. John Slow on the hards. Chandra just trying every different line, coming in, trying to fill up Craig Broadbent's revision mirror, keeping him occupied to miss the braking zone into turn 1. That'd be ideal for Chandra, but Broadbent is too much of a seasoned campaigner for that to happen. He's not dominated the whole race. Baker took out the front the first half of the race before the pit stops. Has fallen back into P4 at the moment. Lapping in the 105s. The leaders lapping in the low 104s at the moment. Black just a bit behind that. Back half of a 104. Like the full length of the main straight gap to Scott Black, and then David Baker is coming on the main straight now to collect his 36th lap. Looking at the timing screens, Broadbent, Chandra and Tokarev are the only ones to get into the 102s at some point throughout the race. The rest in the low 103s. Not an easy track to master, to be honest, because as I said at the top of the broadcast, the track's not there working for you. It's dead flat. So you got to make that car turn on its own, and usually you'll use the tyres to do that, which will burn them up twice as quick. But you manage to get the car to work for you using the roll bars, then the car will turn a lot easier through the corner, putting less effort on the tyres. Looks like the gap's just stretching out a little bit now, out to 1.36. We're on the last lap of the race. The white flag's been given. So Craig's just got half a lap to go to defend this race win in front of Eric Chandra. Chandra just dropping off 0.2 of a second, 2/100ths. Craig Broadbent now only a couple of corners to go before he takes a checkered flag down the main straight. Chandra giving it one last ditch effort. The gap under a second again, but it's going to be Craig Broadbent down the main straight ahead of Eric Chandra. He takes a checkered flag. Congratulations, Chandra in P2. Scotty Flack coming home for a solid P3. Untouched there. Challenged a little bit by David Baker, but towards the end of the race, just slipping away there. Scott Flack a bit more consistent. And Vlad Tokarev, you can see in the background, coming around to collect P5. Catching Sarkis towards the end there. So too John Slow. So great job from John Slow as well. Finishing P6, and Sarkis did a great job. Probably not used to nursing those tyres, and this track is not the best to start learning on how to conserve these tyres. Ludwig Gaskinas taking home P8 in a beautiful livery there. And Teb already collecting the checkered. James Spotto crossing the line. P10, Troy Cieslowski somewhere there. Like he's in the dirt somewhere. And we'll go to Pritchard, who's already retired. So it looks like everyone's in there. Chandra coming down for his victory lap. So the race results for race 2. Craig Broadbent out in front for Racetech Steel takes the win ahead of Eric Chandra. Scott Flack collects P3 ahead of David Baker, charging hard and putting pressure on him as much as he could, but not to be. But he'll be happy with P4 at the moment. Vlad Tokarev brings it home, P5. Great effort after the pit lane penalty to retrieve P5 from the rest of the field there. John Slow coming in close behind him in P6. James Ikas just dropping a couple of spots there towards the end in P5 for most of the race, but not to be. And he'll collect P7 ahead of Ludwig Askinas from Lithuania. Harrison Tebb joined in. Started the race on P1, but slipped back. And unfortunately, got touched by Chandra and lost a lot of places and served an extra parade down the pit lane to finish in P9, just ahead of James Spotto. Roger Slowski bringing home P11 ahead of Matthew Pritchard, retiring 3/4 of the way through. Looks like he was doing well, but not too sure if he came off in turn 1 there. And Nurse Selection retiring as well, but showing good pace, and we hope to see him back for the next one. Matt Collins retired after a couple of laps. He had to go for early work commitments tomorrow. And Frederick Sarkis failed to grid up. Some technical issues there, and they missed the grid, unfortunately. He was showing a lot of promise from race 1 as well. So the next round for the V8s, oh, this will be a good one. We've got a brand new track for you at Townsville. Very impressive layout in Townsville. So we're looking forward to that. It's the first time we're going to be using this track, and it's a beauty. So make sure you tune in on the 5th of July for the next round of the V8s. While we're talking about next rounds, make sure you get on board for the next round of the Champions League. It'll be the Brazilian stock cars at Interlagos. What a no better track for those Brazilian stock cars than Interlagos. Nice wide open circuit. Guys can take plenty of different lines there, and that'll be actually, don't look at that. That says the 21st. It'll be the 22nd because State of Origin will be on next weekend, next Wednesday. So we'll race the next Thursday in the stock cars at Interlagos for the Champions League. And if you're a fan of the British touring cars, make sure you tune in on the 28th of June as the British touring cars go to Oran Park. Looking forward to that track. We haven't been there for a while, so make sure you tune in. Why don't you register and join in, race with us, and you'll find yourselves on the stream as well. But until then, shout out to Tim Lawson, who couldn't join us tonight for work commitments. He's out travelling, so hope you're well, mate, and we'll see you back on the next one, which will be the Champions League, the 22nd of June, next Thursday. So make sure you tune in for that. Until then, good night.
Has so much to it.
And we are proud to announce that we have joined forces with this incredible place. They've got simulation cars.
You can choose your own car like a Formula One.
Or V8 Supercars, and you can choose your own track. I love the mountain. I'm king of the mountain. Not Mount Jewett, Mount Panorama.
Plus, there's an incredible go-kart track. No fumes, no smell.
And it's got a booster button too.
These booster buttons, unlike a video game, they're real. I'll catch you. Beat your fastest lap. Challenge your friends.
Have a feed at the cafe with an unbelievable menu. What? Dessert, coffee, and of course, a fully licensed bar.
10-pin bowling, video games, skills testers, laughs, play area, chill out areas and lounges, DJs and fun music.
It's safe, friendly, and plenty of parking. But some people drive to the city for that.
That's stupid.
Book now at entertainmentpark.com.